All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Average Cast. We're not dead. We're alive. I'm Eamon, and I'm joined by Gavin and Jake.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
And first, to start off this episode, we want to kind of talk about why we haven't made an episode in like 8 months. And the short answer for that, I think for most of us, would be that we've just been pretty busy with a lot of work-related stuff in our daily lives. Around that time, school was kind of starting back up. I had online classes over the summer. And I know Gavin had work. Gavin has a job that he had to attend to. Is that right? Am I right about that?
You were correct about that.
And Jake was just kind of doing his own thing. I'm not entirely sure what Jake was doing.
I guess you could say there was a global pandemic too.
Oh,
True,
well,
yeah.
we started this one. We started this podcast because of the pandemic.
Wow, time has really flown.
We started this in March.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We thought
That's
so-
crazy.
we thought that like this stuff was going to be done by like July.
Wow.
I remember that. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. I thought we were all. I thought
Everyone thought during the summer it'd just disappear.
I thought COVID was going to be like taken care of by summer, like late summer.
And look where we're at now.
Yeah, look where we're at. It's
It is
insane. But yeah, just busyness from all three of us kind of made it hard to coordinate and schedule. But we have been talking a lot outside of the podcast, and we've been kind of keeping up to date with each other. And we finally got to the time to schedule because I feel like we're all on break right now, right? Are you guys all on break?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Yeah. And you guys are also now quarantining in your house. Is that
Currently, because both of my brothers have fallen with COVID,
yeah?
so they're isolating right now, but they'll be out by Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and,
so I've been in quarantine.
I have to quarantine due to I'm going on a trip for Christmas break.
Yeah.
So I've had to quarantine about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Just gonna stay in my house. I took my test today. Obviously came back negative because I haven't been anywhere. But yeah, looking forward to that. But now that we're all kind of on our break schedule, we can finally get this episode in.
Yeah. So yeah, it's worked out recently. And we're hoping to get another episode out before Christmas. I'm looking to upload that one. It'll be more of a Christmas special episode on Christmas Eve. So expect that. This one should be up probably a day after recording. So look out for that as well. So most likely 2 episodes this week for people to watch. But yeah, that's kind of been a short rundown of where we've been. We've really like wanted to. It's not like we haven't like thought of like coming back and like doing another episode, but just time constraints and work has made it difficult for a lot of us to kind of agree on a certain time. Also, not to mention that we're on different times from each other. I'm an hour behind Gavin and Jake, so that also makes it a little different.
Yeah, I can't count the amount of times we've said in the chat, like we want to do another episode, and
It just falls
It
flat.
just hasn't worked. I know. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
Like we'll record on Thursday, we'll record this Saturday instead, and it just like it all falls flat because someone has something going on, or
Yeah.
just based on time. Like one might be good for me here, but my 1 is your 2, so 2 might not be good for you. So
Yeah.
it's just it can be a little difficult, but we're back, so that's all that matters.
We back.
We back, baby. But we want to kind of get that out of the way and just kind of sweep that under the rug, or just kind of get it out of the way for now. And we want to move on to a new kind of topic, I guess, something that is more current, which is The Mandalorian Season 2. For those of you who don't know, The Mandalorian Season 2 is the second season to the hit TV show or TV series The Mandalorian, which I think premiered last year, is when it first came out. It might have been before that.
It was last year.
It was last year.
That was last year.
It was around it was like a few months ago last year, I think.
Yeah.
But the first season, I think from all of us, I might be wrong actually. I thought the first season was pretty solid. Not the best TV I've seen, you know. But it was a very solid series. And I was very excited to see where season 2 would end up going. But I don't know about you guys. What were your thoughts about the first season?
For me, I thoroughly enjoyed season 1. I thought the introduction to some new characters was a good touch. Obviously introducing Baby Yoda, or spoiler alert, for new season 2. That is now known as Grogu. I thought the characters were pretty well written. I just thought the story as a whole was just kind of. I don't have a lot of complaints for it, but there's not a whole lot that's amazing about it either. But overall, I think it's a pretty good show for season 1 at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, season 1. Upon first viewing, I'd say that I was not a fan. I mean, I was intrigued by what they were doing, and I was interested to see this kind of new entry into Star Wars. But I wasn't a big fan of the season when I originally watched it. But then I watched it again before season 2, and I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Queel. He was my favorite character.
Yeah.
Sadly, he passed away.
Yeah.
But I just say negatives for season 1 were definitely episodes 4, 5, and 6. They all fell flat for me. I just did not like him going to help other people, and it's kind of the whole show is just him going to find a little bit about his mission with Grogu, but then having to stop and help a village that's in dire assistance.
Which
in
one
a
was
dire situation?
Which one was 4? Was that the one
4
with the?
it was like the Seven Samurai type thing when he went to the village and the AT-AT was, or the ATS.
Oh yeah. I remember that one.
It was just kind of. I mean, it was all right, but
I kind of
6 just didn't work for me. But
for those episodes, I like the world building. It makes the galaxy seem a lot bigger in scale, and I like those episodes also touch upon like, you know, the unique people that inhabit those like areas.
Yeah.
And like I also thought like the concept of like this junked ATST was like a really cool idea. You know, that like these like scavengers were like using to like, you know, gain from like, you know, this village. And it was like you know, they weren't the Empire, they were just like I thought it was just cool to kind of see like this wrecked thing from the Empire being used to as like another weapon to take things from other people.
that was cool. That was cool.
And then the 5th episode was the sniper one, right? Was that the?
Yeah, with that Han Solo type character.
Yeah, I don't really remember much about that one.
Not great.
Yeah.
The one thing that for me about season 1 is I've heard this term in some other shows, kind of like a filler episode, kind of just to fill the season.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
it kind of has the same feel where they kind of do a side mission almost if it's like a video game.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes get repetitive, and oftentimes it makes shows and things like that fall short to being to a caliber that they could be at.
Yeah.
I feel like, but that's the only thing I would say about the season. But I thought the world building, even for the quote unquote filler episodes, was still pretty good because we could see a new side and some new characters, Star Wars. But
yeah,
that was cool. That was cool, but definitely 7 and 8 were really awesome. And when they went back to Navarro and Moff Gideon showed up, and they had
Yeah.
to
Was that the first
deal with
time that
that.
he was that he showed up in the show?
I think so. I think it was episode 7.
Because that was
Um,
something that I didn't
he
like.
showed up.
I was always confused with that. I was like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? You know?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
were first introduced to them when they were in that the restaurant, and they were kind of just held up, the three of them,
Right.
and the droid, when they were kind of cooped up in that kind of restaurant, and then
Yeah.
all the stormtroopers were surrounding them, and then
Then
basically
he shows
Moff
up.
Gideon shows up, and then it's kind of
I wish
almost
there
like
was
a
more of
random
a.
thing, but
I wish there was more of a build up between, like, with Moff Gideon and, you know.
Yeah, he's kind of just a bad guy. I swear to God, Juan Carlo Esposito just plays the bad guy
Yeah,
in all these TV shows.
yeah,
He's great though. He's very
I mean,
intimidating.
he is. He is.
I'm
But I mean, I recently watched Breaking Bad, and now The Boys season
the
2.
boys.
and,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
and Mandalorian. It's just he's there to be the bad guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
always.
But he
Yeah,
plays
definitely.
he plays that
Okay.
role really well.
Yeah, I'd say. I
And
agree with that.
I'm wondering, since at the end of season 2 he gets captured, what's gonna be going for him after that?
Right. Totally.
Because
Yeah,
he was kind of swiftly defeated in the finale of season 2. Like
Yeah,
I guess-
it wasn't too hard of a task.
I guess that could kind of bring us talking about season 2 before we kind of get to that.
Yeah.
So like, what were your guys' thoughts about season 2 compared to season 1? Like, was it a step up? What it did better? What it did worse than the first season? Things like that.
I think I actually enjoyed the second season more, if I'm just going off basic memory, because I haven't rewatched the first season in a while, and I hope to soon. But just going off like basic memory from like how I thought of those episodes from season 1 and how I think about the episodes in season 2, I don't think season 2 is really leagues above, and I think season 1 also did certain things better. But I think overall, I was more entertained, and I feel like I enjoyed season 2 more. Personally.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I guess it was more consistent with the pacing.
It was, yeah.
Because each episode had something to like.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't great, like really, really great.
Like episode 2 was like
Yeah.
filler.
Right, but it was still. I mean, the dogfight in episode 2 was really great.
Yeah.
With the X-wings and the Razor Crest, that was awesome. But as a whole, it was kind of a throwaway, disposable plotline. But each episode kind of had something going for it, and something interesting to move the story along, even if they were a bit filler-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think I like personally. I thought season 2 definitely was a step up from season 1. I'd say season 2 definitely does have it. It isn't completely rid of quote unquote filler episodes,
no.
but I feel like those filler episodes are a little bit more enjoyable. Like the episode with Bill Burr before the finale, I actually thoroughly enjoyed. I thought I had some of the best action sequences in the show so far, and I just found it really entertaining.
Yeah.
As far as the characters go that were introduced, obviously, Bo-Katan, Boba Fett. What were your guys' honest thoughts about that?
I would have to say that's getting into a negative for me.
Okay.
Is that, I mean, Mandalorian's great, as you guys said about the first season, with the world building, and the characters they introduce, and just seeing a new side of Star Wars. But this season, I felt it really relied on fan service. It's just it's cool to see your favorite characters from the other shows and whatnot. But I think that without the introduction of Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, all these, Luke Skywalker, as I'm sure we'll talk about, all these characters, I guess they move the story along, but you're kind of just like, whoa, look, it's these people, and oh, it's so awesome, and I love seeing them shoot blasters and stuff.
Yeah.
But without actually, I mean, it's kind of just to introduce spin-off series as we've seen, and
Yeah.
I mean, literally, this show introduced these characters. Now we have a Boba Fett show. Now we have a
Ahsoka show.
Ahsoka show. I'm sure we'll have something more with Bo-Katan and like the Rangers of the Republic or something.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see the show. And I base it on if you have a narrative that is really engaging and actually well written and whatnot, then sure, you can have all these characters. But for Mandalorian, I don't know if it fully achieves that without having to rely on fan service. That's my take on it.
I semi agree. I agree in some parts, more aligning to Boba Fett, and then the other part aligning to the spin-off shows. So Boba Fett is someone who I see as not really being like important in the grand scheme of Star Wars. And I know that he was just always like a fan favorite because he looked cool and all that. But I never really got the appeal of Boba Fett because he was this character who was hyped up super quickly. You know, Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back has regards for him, such as like he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. And then when we actually, and yeah, he is intimidating in that film when the gang they're trying to escape Cloud City, and he's like walking around looking for him. But when you finally get to Return of the Jedi, and it's the opening third of the sand skiff and Jabba's sail barge and Jabba's palace, whenever he actually has to step into combat, it doesn't take long until he's defeated and he's sent flailing into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, right.
And I never really understood why people liked him so much. And I guess I guess you can count to, you know, the Legends novels and stuff, like the expanded universe, like stuff that they've made after those movies came out. But like then again, a lot of those aren't actually canon in the universe.
Yeah.
And he never actually fought Darth Vader with a lightsaber. Like that's just part of Legends. Like he never actually did that, like in the canon universe. So I just never really saw the appeal or really wanted him to come back, because I thought the whole purpose of his character was to have him as this joke, kind of as like a self-embodiment of the Empire.
Yeah, this kind of intimidating thing that when it actually has to fight, just gets
defeated,
taken
instantly.
out quickly,
like super quick.
Funny. That's an interesting way to look at it.
That's how I always saw his character. And the argument that like George Lucas, you know, he had more planned for him, I don't think is true, because who wrote those movies? You know, who is the one who wrote those movies? It's not the director of the film doesn't choose whether Boba Fett lives or dies. It's the writers, because the writers are the ones that create the story. The director just follows the orders of the writers and tries to adapt that story into something, you know, cohesive. So I never really got the appeal, and so I wasn't coming in hating Boba Fett, but I surely didn't really want to see him in the show, because I already didn't really care for him that much. But my positive for Boba Fett is that he didn't really take up anything. Like, he was kind of out of their hair for a bit. Like, he would be there to, like kind of help them scope out something. And then he would kind of, like, stand around or just, like, go somewhere else.
Yeah,
so
he was kind of like the helper.
Yeah, so I do kind of appreciate that once Boba Fett was introduced, it didn't just become the Boba Fett show, you know? Like, he was there, but he wasn't really, like, he didn't even help them in the finale, really. Like, all he did was, you know, get them docked onto the the Imperial shuttle, and then he just left.
Right. So how I see it is they introduced him. I guess you could say it was kind of to give him justice, I guess, and for the fans that really wanted to see him kind of like brought back into the spotlight and actually get to do something other than just fly into the Sarlacc pit. Which how you see it is he was kind of written as like this joke for Return of the Jedi, but then how I feel like a lot of fans of the show see it, and obviously to the response that he got, is like he gets redemption, I guess, and gets to be a badass. But
Yeah.
that would have been fine if it was just for the season, for the end of the season.
But now they're
But I
making
mean,
a
now he's got
spin-off.
his own show.
Yeah.
So
Well,
of course.
okay. Here's kind of my thoughts about all the characters that they introduced this year. So I totally understand your point, coming from Boba Fett, because obviously through the original movies, he's a pretty marketable character. But he never actually does anything. That's the thing. So it's understandable where you're coming from. And then again, they did just put him back in the show. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like a redemption thing, maybe. But this is my thoughts overall about all the characters. I think having Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, and the Rangers, and Boba Fett all in the same season, it's just too much to handle. They shouldn't have crammed that all into one season. If anything, I think it probably would have been better if out of the three groups that they just added one of them to the show. So just Boba Fett, or just Ahsoka, or just the Rangers. I think that would be a little bit easier to handle on the show as a whole. And there's already original characters that could have helped in the end. Anyways, because you see in the finale that Boba Fett just leaves and everybody else just fights, which is kind of useless because they added him into the season, and So I think honestly, when it comes down to it, I find the original characters sometimes are better than the characters that they brought in this season. I think the Ahsoka episode and the Boba Fett episode and the Rangers episode, I thought they were all amazing episodes individually, but when it comes down to it, the finale was just a little bit overwhelming in a sense. Kind of having them all there, not Ahsoka, but I don't know. I feel like the one thing I will say about the new season is the original characters were kind of developed more, like the Cara Dune. I thought her character was developed a little bit more through the finale, and obviously Mando being a little bit more sentimental compared to the first season where he was just a cold-blooded killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought this is kind of a random thing, but I thought Mayfield, Bill Burr's character, was actually a really good original character in the first season and the second season. I thought both those episodes that he was in were actually pretty enjoyable and pretty fun to watch. But
yeah, I really liked the scene with Mayfield and his old commanding officer, like this person that he like despises and hates, and like to get his point of view on that catastrophe that Mayfield was involved in.
Yeah, definitely.
And it really develops a lot, or it really helps to like flesh out Mayfield's character from just kind of like this stereotypical kind of like crook who helps the heroes with like their side dealings and stuff.
Like the blue dude in the in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like that guy. The same guy who actually got carbonated in the first episode of the first season.
Yeah.
But like they actually worked to like flesh his character out more and kind of make him feel like he's working towards something, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I actually
because it seems
enjoyed.
kind of ridiculous if you have Bill Burr in there
Yeah,
for no reason. But then once you develop his character in that episode,
yeah.
that was cool to see.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Boba Fett did not need to be here this episode or this season. I think if you had, because Bo-Katan and her Rangers and then Ahsoka, that would have been fine because Bo-Katan and Ahsoka are friends. They know each other.
Yeah, they're connected, so that's kind of fair.
And Bo-Katan's the one who tells Mando to go find Ahsoka,
Right.
which leads to her character. And I also, can I just say, I loved how both of them were adapted. I think they were adapted perfectly. Not just like, I don't find it as a fan service-y thing, because you're just seeing what they're doing at this point in time in the galaxy. Like, I love the Ahsoka episode, because I don't feel like there's a whole lot being shoved in your face, because to the characters, she's just, you know, another kind of Jedi monk that they meet along the way.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
like, you know, she has these stories to tell. And, like, the only one that she really mentioned was The Fall of the Jedi from Episode 3, or the prequels. So I think her whole thing was handled really well. I think Rosario Dawson was really fantastic in the role of Ahsoka. I think she played her really
Definitely.
well. And I just think you can technically count it as fan service because, you know, you are technically bringing back some sort of iconography from previous incarnations of Star Wars. And
But it all does connect to the
it
finale
helps
with Moff
service the
Gideon and the
plot.
Darksaber.
It's not like she's just making a cameo. Like, it's not like the Rogue One Cantina guys like cameoing for like one
Right.
shot.
Yeah.
You know?
But she's getting him somewhere.
She's helping progress the plot. So even though it is someone that we already know, it's helping move the plot forward. Because then
Right,
she
but-
goes and tells him to place it on the rock, which eventually gets Grogu captured. And, you know, she helps us learn
Definitely,
the
yeah.
name of, you know, Baby Yoda. So,
She's got to say to that lady, "Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?" so she can have her own show.
yeah, exactly.
So you
Yeah,
kind of just have to sneak that in there if you want that
Now,
spin-off.
what I wished is that they would just have her stay in The Mandalorian as like a occasionally occurring character. Like Mando would just like, you know, reunite with her from time to time. And like they would go and work on something or like like next season will most likely take place in Mandalore. Like imagine if we got Ahsoka in there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like helping out.
I just
That would be
think
cool.
that like we're talking about like Ahsoka and the Rangers, but without kind of going back to Boba on that point that you just made, like putting Boba Fett into the show is complete fan service because take him out of the show as a whole. What does he do for the plot?
Nothing.
I mean,
you
you can take him out and
the-
it'd probably be the same.
The only thing that he gives Mando is a ride home.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And I
also,
think-
I mean, you could have easily gotten other people to like, or just changed up the plot of that episode on the Rock, because I mean, if Mando and the woman, or Boba and the woman, if they weren't there, I forgot her name.
Fennec, right?
Fennec, yeah.
Fennec.
If they weren't there, Mando would probably be dead or just swarmed by stormtroopers.
Right.
Yeah.
So they did help in that way, but I feel like you could have easily
But,
gotten
like the plot as a whole, they
you could have
just
easily
wrote
gotten
around
Cara
that.
Dune to like, or Cara Dune to come along, or something
Yeah.
like that, and just change up the plot slightly so that
I
the ship
just-
doesn't get destroyed.
I wish they would have used Morrison himself rather than Boba as Rex with Ahsoka. I think that would have been, if anything, if they used him for the show, I wish it would be for Rex.
That could have been cool.
That's just me, but I think personally that would be
Well, we
better
might
than having
we
Boba.
might get Rex in Ahsoka's show.
True.
We might.
Yeah.
Because technically Rex appears, quote unquote, in Return of the Jedi on the Battle of Endor. Because they have
Oh
like
yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
the
I
beard,
saw
the
that.
guy with the white beard is apparently Captain Rex, even though nobody knew that. I feel like someone just said
Yeah.
that and everyone went along with it. But I mean, you could technically just go along with that because it would make sense, and then just have Tamara Morrison play Rex, and that would have
Mm-hmm.
lined in with like because then you could have had like coming off the heels of the final season of the Clone Wars, you would have more of a Clone Wars themed episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. But then again, I don't really know what Rex's deal would be in that show. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard, but I mean, I'm not necessarily glad that they have a Boba show, but
Yeah.
since they introduced him and kind of rushed him in, I'm almost glad because I kind of want to hear like almost how he kind of escaped the Sarlacc pit and like where he was at and like kind of like what he's gonna be up to now, and if we can actually see him being like the well-renowned bounty hunter that he's said to be that we've never seen in
Right.
Yeah.
the whole universe that we've been given from Star Wars. So
True. There's more opportunity to explore that.
definitely.
But I don't know. I feel like out of all of them, the Boba Fett show was like the one that I'm least excited for. Like I just like it could be interesting, but like it's just I feel like it's gonna be a lot similar to The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
why I'm guessing people are thinking that that show is replacing The Mandalorian.
Luckily, yeah. They said it's not though.
Yeah, because we still have that whole Mandalore thing.
Right,
That would
so-
be. I mean, I guess you could technically move that over to Rangers of the New Republic.
That's what I was thinking when there was
You could-
confusion about whether they were going to end the Mandalorian arc. I was wondering if him and Bo-Katan and them and Cara Dune and all them were going to be in the Rangers show and do the Mandalore thing there, and have Boba Fett continue Mandalorian.
Where does it say? Who said that that's not the case?
I saw a report somewhere that said it gave more information on the book of Boba Fett.
Oh,
It said it was going to be a standalone series.
so
So yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty much confirmed. So yeah, we
Okay.
are going to continue. I mean, where do you think season 3 will go? Do you think
so
we'll have-
I think we'll go to Mandalore, and there'll be the whole arc of the Darksaber.
Right.
And then I'm
Yeah,
guessing by
I
the
was-
end of that season, we'll have whoever is ruling the throne, and then that will progress into Rangers of the New Republic, and then from there, I don't know. I'm guessing stuff will happen in between. I'm guessing because Moff Gideon's whole thing is still kind of unresolved. Like he's captured, but they said that they need information from him.
Right.
So
Yeah,
The-
they might do a little escape thing with him and kind
Yeah.
of like a predictable conflict with that. But honestly, Moff Gideon is probably one of the worst written antagonists and or just characters as a whole in Mandalorian. Like he comes in, he is intimidating and he runs a ship, and he has the Darksaber himself,
yeah,
but he fights a Mandalorian for about a minute to 2 minutes before he's swiftly defeated.
Yeah.
Like no even problem there.
I didn't.
And yeah, I don't know.
I
I
didn't.
just thought
I
he
didn't get
wasn't really a well-rounded character.
Yeah, I didn't get the criticism with like people being upset that Mando was like able to take down like Moff Gideon with a staff, like when he's had no like saber training apparently, but like he's a Mandalorian, you know.
Yeah, he's a
like,
jack
he's
of
a
all
trained
trades.
fighter.
But who says Moff Gideon's had training either? Like he could
Well, yeah,
just be.
exactly.
He's not a Sith. He's not a Jedi. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I guess it's kind of implied.
it's
And-
like it's
but-
like the same stuff that everyone said with like, the sequels. Like how is Rey able to fight Kylo Ren, even though she uses a staff in her daily life, and that probably leads a lot to her ability to wield a lightsaber. you know.
And the fact that she's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yeah, that we eventually learn of. Like, come on.
Right.
But we're not talking about that now. We're not talking about that right now.
Yeah.
We'll do that another day. But I think we should get to. Wait, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say Mando is OP though.
Mando is
Come
OP.
on, he doesn't get hurt once.
No, he got hurt
But
in the
he does have
first season.
Beskar as armor, so
I know the Beskar is OP. Like
He got hurt in the
he
first
can literally
season.
defend from a lightsaber.
no, but
Didn't he almost die in the first
weakness is
season?
Grogu.
I thought he.
Yeah,
Almost,
remember when he takes his helmet off?
yeah, he almost died in the first season when there was like a fire
Yeah,
at the
Right,
end.
right.
but
So
then he gets.
Isn't that the only
Beskar.
time he's taken damage?
maybe. Well, no, he
Besides
he
the-
fell a lot against the pirates on what's it called, the mining planet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, episode 7. of
Was it? Is
season
that
2.
Tython? No, that's not it. Is it Tython or is that the place
don't
where
know.
you put where Baby Yoda has to sits on the rock? That might be it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's Arizona, but
Also, can we? That was probably. Was that my? That was probably my least favorite episode of the season.
Which one?
The Robert Rodriguez
Boba?
directed. Not just
Oh,
because of
episode
Boba. There was just
6?
nothing there besides action.
Yeah, it was
I
just
mean, I
protect
thought the
the
action
payload.
sequences were pretty good, but other than
Yeah,
that,
well,
I found them similar to like a fan film that someone shot out in the desert with like their friends.
Yeah,
Like, that's
Oh, yeah.
it was like handheld, shaky cam.
Right. I got that feel too.
And like it was it was kind of fun and entertaining for a bit, but like there was just really no story with that episode.
Yeah.
Not
well,
to
I mean,
mention they gave him it was the shortest episode of
Yeah.
the season. It was only like 32 minutes or something, which is
Wow.
like, why not just make hour-long episodes? You could put so much
Yeah.
more. Like I don't know why they don't do that. Like shows like, there's a lot of shows like The Crown and The Boys. They have about like hour-long episodes, and I feel like that
Are you
works a
talking
lot.
about combining plot lines?
Not
like
combining
combining
plot lines,
episodes?
but just adding more, because I feel like we should have gotten more.
adding depth almost to an episode.
Like there wasn't
Other
really
than action
anything
sequences
to take
and
away
conflict.
from that episode other than
Yeah.
Grogu gets captured.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Um,
that's an issue I have with the show in general. That a ton of the show is just action sequences,
Yeah,
and if there's not much going on behind that, I don't feel invested at all.
yeah,
That's why season 2 I didn't feel very invested. Apart from seeing cool characters and tons of just action sequences every episode, there wasn't that much there for me.
yeah,
that's why I think the Bill Burr episode is one of the best.
Well, yeah, that had a cool background with him and the siege or whatever that happened in his past life.
Yeah,
But a lot of the episodes just don't have much there. I mean, if you're a fan of like just watching what goes on in the Star Wars universe and cool action, then sure, but that doesn't really completely do it for me if you don't have the emotional backing,
yeah,
yeah.
And the only time season 1 really had that was with Queel's death, which I felt for that man. Like, he was my favorite character.
yeah,
When I saw him dead, I was like actually impacted, I guess you could say.
yeah.
But season 2 didn't really have much
Yeah.
going on in that department, which was kind of a letdown for me.
Yeah, Queel's death was kind of impactful.
Yeah,
I remember him being a character that I enjoyed watching. So,
Yeah, he was cool and he was wise and
yeah.
Felt
I
like
wish he
Yoda.
stuck around, but sadly
yeah, but
no.
and that was
Yeah.
actually tense when they captured Baby Yoda in the end,
Yeah,
and he was dead on the ground. Like, that was very impactful.
and then that was where
ending.
the episode left off.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy. That was like I
Yeah.
didn't feel that once in season 2.
Yeah, no, I never felt tense at all.
Emotionally attached to
Yeah.
anyone.
Because like you can think of like
yeah.
What was it? What was I gonna? I think it was just the thought that like, this show is super marketable, like with the Dark Trooper stuff, or the
Yeah.
Death Troopers. What was it? Is it Dark Trooper or Death Trooper?
They were Dark
think-
Troopers.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
Dark
Death
Troopers,
Troopers are the ones from Rogue One, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the Dark Trooper stuff, like there was just no tension because I was just like, this is one of Disney's most marketable shows at the time. They're not just gonna go ahead and, kill all of these characters. I mean,
Right.
Not to mention there's still plot lines that still need to be resolved here. So they're not gonna die. Like that's the problem with a lot of shows. Like I found with Gotham, with the prequel Batman show. Whenever the characters were in a tense situation, you can immediately be taken out of that situation by realizing, oh, Jim Gordon is around while Batman is around. So he can't die now because he exists later on, in Batman's timeline. Or Bruce Wayne can't die in this situation because then who would go on to become Batman? So it completely limits, all of the tension with, that show or that scene. So that's why I think there is a problem when making a show that takes place within a certain timeline, because if you pick up certain things and you assess certain parts of the show, then you can easily just say that, like, the scene doesn't have any tension because these guys end up surviving because of this thing, because we see.
Well, how does that gauge to Mandalorian?
What do you mean? Like, how does that work for?
Yeah, we don't know if Mando survives.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking we have the idea that, Grogu has to be trained.
Right.
We have the whole Darksaber thing.
Right.
I wouldn't see them as getting killed off right then and there.
Yeah, well, but it only works. You only actually feel tension if they've successfully, like, made you feel an emotional attachment to them. And season 2, like when Grogu gets captured, I guess you're like, oh no, but there's not really the emotional attachment that you had in season 1.
Yeah, because I'm like, he's gonna get taken
2.
back. The show's a hit. They're not gonna do another, or they're not gonna quit or end the show after this season.
Right.
They're gonna find a way to do a season 3 and make more money. The only time that I ever felt real tension, I think, was with the Ahsoka fight. Because apparently Ahsoka is a Force ghost in The Rise of Skywalker. So
Really?
she isn't alive. Apparently, you can hear her voice speaking. I'm not sure if that was a Force ghost vision or if that was just Jedi in general reaching out. Because you can hear Obi-Wan and Anakin and Mace Windu and, various other Jedi talking to her. Talking to Rey, like towards the
Yeah, but they're all dead.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is that I'm guessing all the people there were dead. So that means Ahsoka had to die in between this time and, whenever the Rise of Skywalker comes. So
Right.
I'm thinking, oh, is this where she's going to die? Are they going to show her die here? So, but she didn't.
No,
One
they ain't
of the
gonna do that.
Yeah, one of the kind of last things that I'll say about kind of like Mando characters and things that we've been talking about, just kind of like a final thing that at least I have to say is I just think that the new shows that were introduced, obviously off of the characters that were introduced into Mandalorian, and obviously because of COVID, movie theaters, things like that have been shut down. So I think as far as income and money goes, Disney is actually really smart for doing this because of Corona, TV shows have become such a high demand. You've seen TV shows that are pretty lackluster, like Tiger King or Outer Banks, get huge just because
Right.
they come out during quarantine.
Yeah.
That you could have a lackluster show that has a huge fan base following, like Star Wars, millions and millions around the world, right?
Right.
And a show that comes out that's it's pretty good. It's not amazing, it's not anywhere close to the best show of all time or anything like that, but overall it's a pretty enjoyable show. But I
Right.
just think that them introducing all these shows is a smart move financially because they're gonna get definitely a lot of money off this because TV shows definitely have increased in popularity compared to movies which have gone totally downhill.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, they've seen the success of Mandalorian even without the pandemic.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
they're just throwing everything at the wall.
Right. They only announced one new movie out of all those Star Wars announcements, so
Which
they're
was
definitely
Rogue Squadron.
banking on. Right, they're banking on the
And
streaming.
they also said Taika is gonna do a Star Wars movie.
Isn't he in the works for a trilogy?
They said Star Wars movie, so I don't know if they're doing a new trilogy. They might do.
That-
it.
I'm
Let's
excited
just
for
pray we get a Old Republic trilogy.
We
We need. I think the Skywalker saga and stories in between. I think they've been a little too milked out, and so once we get past all these TV shows, we need some original. We'll obviously wait some time, and we need some original Star Wars
New
storylines.
I'm
Exactly,
still holding out for the Ryan Johnson trilogy.
Yeah, man, I wish, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't know. They still follow each other on Twitter, so that's my only evidence.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope because I love his style of filmmaking would work perfectly with his own trilogy.
Yeah, man, if they plan it out,
Like
have a
imagine
roadmap.
imagine an Old Republic trilogy with his visuals and his cinematography. Like, that would
People
be-
might not like the Last Jedi, but you can't deny how beautiful
looks amazing.
that movie is.
Yeah, totally.
It is
And-
definitely, I would say, the best looking Star Wars film of all time.
Yeah,
I don't think that's even
Definitely.
a competent and I'm not knocking anything against the original trilogy. Those have really great moments, but a lot of that, a lot of my love for the original trilogy isn't from, cinematography and how it looks. A lot of it is from the characters and the story.
That's kind of a new thing that comes with modern age, just
Well, yeah.
like more technology,
yes,
things
it's
like
hard
that.
to compare.
Yeah.
I'd say it's hard to compare them.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the originals were revolutionary in the way they looked.
I think their effects are still amazing. Like their miniatures.
Yeah, they hold up.
Like
Oh yeah,
they
hold up great.
still hold up. Well, the prequels will still they'll become more and more outdated as time goes
Right.
on.
Yeah.
So
Modern in terms of modern, like big budget films, The Last Jedi looks amazing.
yeah.
It's even better than Rise of Skywalker. And Rise of Skywalker is more into the future, probably more possibilities and technology that came out when that movie was in the works compared to The Last Jedi. And The Last Jedi looks 10 times better. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and yeah, I mean, you could definitely see his talent based off, Knives Out and The Last Jedi. He's a very
I love that guy. He's
talented.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
directors' work. I mean,
Yeah, no,
Looper
he's-
and Brick and Knives Out.
Yeah,
I love
Brick is
his
great.
movies. He's great.
Brick
I
for
love
like
him.
a debut. That's like a
Yeah,
he's a great storyteller.
I know, and he writes his stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And like I remember people boycotting Knives Out when it was coming out because he quote unquote ruined Star Wars. Do you guys remember that? People on Twitter,
I saw
were being
some
like,
things like
"Don't
that."
go see Knives Out. It's directed by Ryan Johnson, who made The Last Jedi."
Yeah, they're ignorant.
I don't get it.
people.
Just let people like what they like.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
I don't
One
get
thing
it.
what's
I will
cool is
say
that-
about
he-
Star Wars fans we are the most toxic fans out of any
Yeah.
any fandom ever. Like literally, Star Wars fans will, and us three are all guilty of this because we have complaints about I have complaints about sequels. Anyone has complaints about complaints about the prequels. Jake about TV shows, things like that, which is all fair.
But then again, we all know that our complaints are opinion based. They're all subjective.
exactly.
And we all
Exactly.
love these movies at the end of the day.
Right.
It's different for other people. Other people will say, The Last Jedi is an objectively bad film. This
Yeah.
film is objectively bad, which, I mean, you can't tell whether a film is objectively bad because art is subjective. Like, you can go and like, Batman v Superman,
Right.
because it's subjective. Art is subjective. I can't tell you whether Batman v Superman is an objectively bad film, because you just can't do that. You can't say like whether a film is good or bad. That's just your opinion towards the matter.
Yeah. It's the fans. It's the Star Wars fans that send threats to Rian Johnson and
Kelly Marie Tran.
Death threats to the guy that played Jar Jar Binks. Those are the fans that
the quote unquote fans.
Right.
So.
Those are awful. Like, I mean, when you're a fan of Star Wars, you can critique what you don't like and just have voiced your issues, I guess, with the films and stuff.
Yeah.
But not to the extent where you're sending death threats to people. Like, that's way too far, and you should just kind of reevaluate.
I've been called not a true fan on Twitter because I enjoyed 2 of the sequels, and like I got a message yesterday because sometimes I'll go and like go in the comments of like stuff like that and just say like, this is what I think, but I respect all of you guys' opinions and like stuff like that. And I'll get like messages from like angry people telling me like that I don't know what Star Wars is. And I got one yesterday that was like, have you even seen the prequel trilogy? Like, are you even a real fan? And I'm like, yes, I have seen the prequel trilogy, but I prefer to watch solid performances and good writing. And it's hard for me to sit through stale and lifeless performances. And then like they just like went off on me and told me like to like go back to watching SpongeBob, which was funny. But I don't get the justification or like satisfaction of doing that. Like, what do you gain from like going on Twitter and telling someone you're not a real fan because you like something that I don't like? Like, wow, you really showed them there, buddy. Like, you really got them.
There.
You really told them that they're not real fans. Like I just don't get that. I feel like people. I feel like I've thought of this idea for a while. I've been trying to like plan it out. I feel like we should try and create a new subsidiary of Star Wars fandom, which goes by a different name, and it just consists of people who are respectful and accept others' opinions, and we all love Star Wars at the end of the day. And that's the gist of it. And we could just talk, respectfully about stuff that we like. And we could call it...
I would love to join your utopia.
Exactly.
And we can...
Let me know when that's a thing.
We can call it fans of Force. Fans of Force.
Or you're really thinking into this one, huh?
Something that deviates from it. And then the people who like to respect others' opinions can come and join us and have nice conversations about stuff that they like. And we can have nice conversations about what they thought about certain things. And then the people who are toxic and like to, send death threats to actors and directors and writers on Star Wars projects, and, go tell people that they're not real fans because they haven't seen the Ewoks movie. They can go and like...
They can stay in there.
They can go and kill each other.
The incels can continue to be incels. That's all I have to say.
It's like we haven't even gotten to Luke yet.
That's probably the last thing.
But it's like, it's like the same thing as like leaving all these people on a desert island to go and sort it out themselves, and they'll all end up being like dead in the end. Except we're all just leaving, and they can go and, keep yelling at each other.
Go crazy together. Yeah, totally. But back to Mandalorian, though.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's something that leads into that, which would be the whole argument that with Luke's portrayal in The Mandalorian, his like 5-minute portrayal of him going down the hallways and slicing dark troopers up. Which was a scene that I genuinely enjoyed up until, the face reveal. Which completely took me out of the scene. Like, I was completely taken out. but we'll get to that later. The whole argument on Twitter, I don't know if you guys have seen this, is that the Mandalorian Luke is the one that should have been portrayed in The Last Jedi, which I don't think is, in my opinion, is true at all. And like just
that makes no sense
just
because
post
we obviously know the events that happen with Ben that leads Luke to become a whole different person. So that argument's completely invalid.
yeah, and also. And, like, just, like, people being like, Disney finally redeemed Luke. And, like, just, like, I never really understood the complaints for, like, the Last Jedi portrayal of Luke. Like, people will be like, this is our Luke, like, the Mandalorian video of, like, him slicing people down. And I'm like, so, like, how, like, what, 15 years passed in between? 20 years passed in between the two?
You're right.
And, you know, a lot of stuff has gone down. Luke was contemplating killing his nephew with fears of, you know, his connection to the dark side. He basically turned himself away from the whole Jedi Order. And also, I don't think it would be very entertaining to see, like, an old man going around and just being a badass. Like, it works for this time of Luke, because this is, like a few years after Return of the Jedi. This is, like,
Luke
post...
was only, like, 30.
This is, like, post Return of the Jedi Luke, where he's, like, a badass. You know, that makes sense. Plus, he's younger. Like, he's a young Luke who's, like, swinging around and, like, you know, kicking ass. So
Right. So everyone gets what they want in the end.
Yeah, and I think both portrayals were good for the time being. For the timeline. If you look at the timeline, you're not going to have 20 years from then, like, this super energetic Luke who's just going to be amazing. You know? He's gone through so much. Like, I don't understand, like, why some Star Wars fans don't want depth with their characters. They don't want their characters to go through anything challenging. But then they go around and they say, oh, Rey's never experienced anything challenging in their life. But they don't want Luke to experience anything, you know, that has any challenges with it. You know, they just want him to be this cool guy who just slips around and saves the day and kills everyone. Like,
yeah, they get what they want in Mandalorian, but we appreciate The Last Jedi for what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand there's a huge movement of people that love the prequels and hate The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, basically by saying that Luke's character is flawed and they shouldn't have done Luke like that. But this is what I have a lot of opinion-based complaints off The Last Jedi, but Luke's character arc is not one of them. I have many complaints about The Last Jedi, just the story as a whole, but I think that develops Luke's character into a much more complex character that you never see in the original trilogy. So
it was awesome. It was so great.
Like,
that was a great
anyone that can notice that is, in my opinion, a true fan. If you were talking about actual fans, but
that's a realistic portrayal of someone who's just, you know, had to experience, you know, their whole, like, academy getting burned down to the ground. All of their students basically dying, except for a few who left.
Yeah, and it's not like it comes out of nowhere either. Like, it's not like Luke just turns into a depressed, used to be Jedi.
Your nephew completely turning against you and your family.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, there's reason.
It's realistic, and I like the idea of Luke being not just this, you know, hollow shell of someone. You know, he's like a realistic. He's a person. He's a human being.
Yeah.
He has human
complexity.
Yeah, he has complexities. He has human emotions. He has, you know, real problems and issues that everyone has. You know, everyone has problems with them. So with themselves. So
that's where I feel the Mandalorian has fault.
I'm not entirely sure there yet, because with Luke, I'm not saying that I don't think the show has really encouraged these people to go out and say, you know, oh, this is the real Luke. but they're just showcasing the Luke at the time, because that Luke at the time has really never felt any hardship. They haven't really had any major internal struggles like how we see Luke in The Last Jedi. So I wouldn't expect him to be anywhere similar to how he's in The Last Jedi. I'd expect him to be basically the same from Return of the Jedi Luke. You know, basically like this young guy swinging around saving the day, because that's who Luke was at that time.
And
But
that's
then
what
time
Exactly.
passes and Luke's character changes. But then in The Last Jedi, he goes through that character arc of failure. Failure is the greatest way to learn.
Right.
I think that fight scene and Mando doesn't change anything or gain anything for me about Luke. I think it's honestly just feels like just another portrayal of him after Return of the Jedi. You know, just his kind of, to be honest, his character is a tiny bit bland if you're talking about it in the regular trilogy. Like, he doesn't have a lot of, like, his character isn't bland necessarily, but he doesn't go through as much as he does in The Last Jedi. His character is more complex. You guys kind of get what I'm saying?
I completely get that. I mean, we all love Luke, and he has plenty of complexity in the original trilogy, but it was really cool to see a different side of
A
Luke.
different side. That's
That's
what
why I
separates.
appreciate Ryan Johnson for doing something different.
Yeah.
That's why we love the. I mean,
Like,
Eamon and I at least, and Gavin, you appreciated that storyline with Luke.
I appreciate that.
Like,
of The Last Jedi. I do.
I just don't see
cool.
the appeal of, like, because, like, if you just have Luke swinging around, like, and taking care of everything all the time, it would just be so boring. Like, it would be so boring to watch. Like, he would be such a boring and uninteresting character if he was
Because-
how the Mandalorian portrays him. But, like, the only way that it works in the Mandalorian is because it's for such a short time, you know? And it's just a way of
Right.
cluing
Basically-
us in on what Luke is doing, what he's trying to build. And, like, it makes sense because, like, you know, Grogu is reaching out to a Jedi. There are a few options, but I feel like Luke was probably the most logical option. Because Luke, you know, you later learn that, you know, he starts an academy to train, you know, younger Force-sensitive children, you know? So it made more sense, you know, at that time, just to see him instead of someone like Cal Kestis or someone like that.
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone else other than Luke in that spot. That would have came. Everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, it could be Mace Windu, it could be Cal, it could be Ezra." But
Yeah, I saw the
end
thing
of
with Mace
day,
Windu.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, come on, whose story matches up the most with Grogu's
How
story?
crazy would that have been? If it was Mace Windu,
that would have been wild.
that would have been insane. I would have not expected that. But I mean, again, Mace Windu probably did survive. I mean, like,
No way, he's dead.
Well, I mean, okay, so he got his.
I think he probably did survive.
He got his hand.
Well, if
he got his hand chopped off.
If the Emperor survived, who knows?
Well, yeah. The
Emperor survived
The Emperor
after
fell
that.
down
I
like
mean-
this giant
And
electrocuted.
exploded.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
literally exploded.
And then the Death Star exploded.
Like Mace Windu got his arm cut off, and then he also got electrocuted, and then force pushed out of the window. And like, yeah, he fell, but like a lot of like Jedi can survive like a high fall. Like we even see later in the movie, Yoda survives a fall off of the Senate pod thing, and he falls all the way down.
And in Clone Wars, many of the Jedi and many of the episodes survived great falls, like Plo Koon, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. I know for a fact all survived.
You guys are making me think about all the people that fall in Star Wars that just live, like the Emperor, Darth Maul,
or that get limbs cut off.
Yeah, Darth Maul falls. Darth Maul gets half of his body cut off and he lives.
I mean, Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett.
What is happening?
He doesn't even fall a great distance. He literally gets eaten by a monster and he's fine.
What is happening?
Who else falls and like is fine? Probably like a stormtrooper who like fell down
Luke
like
said in Last Jedi, no one's ever really gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The last thing I'll say about Luke, though, is just the CGI
Yeah, awful,
on Luke's face
awful.
it ruined the scene. I'm sorry, it ruined
Yeah.
it for me.
I
In my
honestly,
opinion,
when
I see people all over Twitter, Instagram, TikTok saying, "Oh, this is beautiful. Look at the reveal. It was a great reveal," and I just simply disagree. That just showing his face for that long, especially, just ruined the scene for me. At least bring Sebastian Stan in there, or get
they probably couldn't get him.
spend a little bit money on the CGI, like or someone else.
I don't even think it was. I don't even think the CGI was finished. I don't think it was finished in time.
Yeah.
It looks unfinished. I don't think they had enough time to fully have it done, because like even like with the Rogue One, like Grand Moff Tarkin, like that one actually, like it doesn't look like he's actually there, but it looks fine enough, you know.
Yeah.
Like it actually looks like
Yeah.
decent, and that was like 4 years ago.
And even Leia's her
Leia's was
younger
weird.
cameo in Rise of Skywalker, it was weird, but it felt a little bit more natural. I would like something like that rather than what we got of Luke, where it's just a clear shot of like a looks like a this is totally Eamon's point, and I'm not going to take credit for this because I didn't notice this, but Eamon compared it to a Snapchat face swap filter,
Oh yeah.
which I thought was hilarious, and I think
That's
it's
funny.
too accurate.
It did, because the eyebrows and the lips didn't seem to match up. Like it didn't look like he was looking at any of them. It looked like he was it looked like he was just like his eyes were just kind of like going in different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's just for this episode though,
I think if they show him back up again, if they have him show back up, they'll probably get like someone who looks like him, or they'll just get like they'll do a better job with the face. I feel like now that I feel like they're actually like expecting it. I don't know. They probably were. Actually, they were expecting it because they had to have.
totally.
But I feel like if now they'll do a better job. But I heard a lot of people saying that like it looked good, and I don't think so. Personally.
Yeah, maybe I saw something that maybe as the years go by they'll go back and maybe like fix it.
Yeah.
As time goes on.
That was
Yeah.
Who said that?
I don't remember.
It was a guy on YouTube who said that.
Was it Stuckman?
It might have been Stuckman.
Yeah, I think it was Stuckman.
Yeah, I could definitely see them doing that. As technology advances, they go back and they keep adding to it and keep making it better.
Right.
I could definitely see them do that because they edited out the guy.
Right, the crew guy.
Yeah. So it's definitely possible. But yeah, that part that took me out immediately. Like I had a huge grin on my face right as the X-Wing showed up from behind the characters.
Yeah.
And then like, the anticipation of like seeing like a cloaked figure walk down, and then like the lightsaber ignites and like all of that, and then the build up, and then he removes his hood, and I'm like, God damn, that looks awful. Like,
Yeah.
that looks
totally.
really bad. What was it? There was one still that I saw of the face that actually looked good. Like it actually looked good, but it was a specific picture of the face. So that doesn't really say
Right.
much.
Yeah. It doesn't really work in the episode.
But I'm wondering what they could have done. They could have kept his hood on, maybe. Would that have worked for Luke's character?
I
Would he
feel
have
like
been
he's-
one to
Or
keep
they
his
could
hood
have
on
put
the
him
whole
in
time?
a light or something where they wouldn't have to depend on his face so much for the scene.
Maybe have his hood on, but you can like kind of see his face. So you could do
Yeah.
like the same CGI job, but now that his face is kind of obscured by his robe, it would
Right.
make it look not as bad.
Right.
But then
But you
again,
just know it's him.
knowing Luke, I don't think he would keep his robe on.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd keep his hood over his head. I feel
Yeah.
like he'd take it off.
It is what it is, I
Yeah,
guess.
it is what it is. I'm guessing he will show up again. I don't know what they'll do with that.
Who knows?
But yeah, so that was the Mandalorian season 2. Overall, I think a pretty solid season. I don't know which one I like better. I'll probably have to rewatch season 1.
Yeah.
Definitely a decent amount of problems with the season, but I feel like there was enough there for me to take away a positive outcome from it.
Right. I'm definitely interested to see what's next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
I'm thinking with the Mandalore, if they go that way, that will probably go away from the copy and paste village storyline.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope that it's more straightforward narrative
Yeah,
that follows one thing
yeah. Like they'll
rather than
get
going
we'll,
to help people
like we'll get to see more of
every episode.
Mandalore. We'll get
Yeah,
to
that'd be
see
cool.
the intricacies
cool.
of the city.
Show me some lore. Show me some cool lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like we'll get some Clone Wars. Like maybe there's like relics from like the Clone Wars that are there. Maybe we'll get to see those.
Totally.
I don't know. And yeah, we'll probably see Mace Windu in season 7. So happy to see that, man.
Right.
We'll probably get Obi-Wan as well. Anakin.
Obi-Wan show. We got Obi-Wan show coming.
Yeah, Obi-Wan show. Speaking of that, we're gonna just kind of run through the Disney stuff real quick. That just got announced a week ago, was it? I think.
Yeah.
At their Investor Day, Board of Investors or whatever meeting, where they go through and just kind of throw whatever they want at the wall, and just show it to people. So we got some of the stuff that we already talked about, the Ahsoka show and the Rangers of the New Republic. The Boba Fett show wasn't announced then, but I guess we could bring that up again. All 3 of them, we don't really know anything about them. I'm guessing it's gonna be like a Netflix like Marvel universe type thing where you have to watch like all of these different shows to figure out what's going on.
Could be. You don't think they'll be separate?
They could be, but like I don't know.
I think Rangers and Boba and Mandalorian. Maybe not Ahsoka though.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what bothered me most with those Netflix ones, because you had to watch like a decent amount of those shows to like kind of figure out who everyone was.
For Defenders. Yeah,
it was just like there were so many shows that I did not care about, and I just stopped watching pretty early on.
Right.
But yeah, those I guess we're just still waiting to hear about, what those will entail. And then what else? We got the Obi-Wan show, which I'm
Super
excited about.
for that.
That's probably my most anticipated one.
That's probably my most anticipated as well, since Obi-Wan is my favorite character in the Star Wars franchise.
Same with me. I'm just happy we get to see kind of a new perspective of different, writers and things like that.
Right, not
off
just
the show, not just prequels. And I think like we can actually kind of see Obi-Wan and Anakin in a different sense with Hayden and Ewan McGregor. But,
I'm really excited to see a new a new set of writers and like a new director, take these actors portraying these roles and see if they can do it a lot better. Because the only time that we've seen Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen in the roles is when they were being directed by George, and when it was being written by George and his yes men.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if they do a lot better of a job, this could definitely be really awesome to see, a better Ewan McGregor version of Obi-Wan, to see, instead of just the stale writing. But it all depends on how it is.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one, definitely.
I'm excited, definitely.
And then we have the Bad Batch, which I'm actually quite excited for. I have a personal liking towards post Order 66, where the Empire is just made of clones. Like where they're not even identified as stormtroopers yet. They're still clone troopers.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that era, like around like basically Fallen Order era. Just something about that is really interesting to me, and I'm really excited to see that because it looks like it's basically a follow-up of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's like a complete follow-up of the Clone Wars, so I'm excited.
Is it animated?
Yes, it is animated.
Okay.
And it looks like it's basically the exact same character models of that stuff. So I'm really excited to see what we would get in that show because I really loved how the Clone Wars ended. And I'm excited to see like what the world in that art style looks like around that time.
Totally.
And then we have Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron.
Only film announced, right?
Only film, besides from the Taika film or trilogy,
Right.
which I'm not sure which
Not
it
sure.
is.
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron could be cool.
Yeah, it seems like her father was apparently in the Air Force, and this is like one that she's always wanted to do. So I'm guessing
That's cool.
This is a project that's very important to her. So I'm guessing that she'll put a lot of her like blood, sweat, and tears into this project.
Yeah.
Which I think could really make something really awesome. So
Yeah, hopefully. I'm looking forward to that one.
yeah. Then we have the Taika one, which we already talked about, and then we have what was the other? Wasn't there some more? I can't really remember.
The other stuff is kind of just we got
We have the
anime
Cassian
show.
Andor.
Oh yeah, Cassian
Andor. We got Lando. There's that show called The Acolyte, which sounds pretty cool.
Is that the anime one?
No, that one's called Visions. Or something.
I think
Visions.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty. I'm kind of anticipating that one. I want to see what they do with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
Because
Acolyte one?
I've seen
again?
YouTubers and things like that animate like Star Wars like stories and kind of this anime style, and I think it looks like awesome just for the universe itself. So excited for that.
That could totally be cool.
Yeah. What's the Acolytes again? Is that like a New Republic thing?
I think it was New Republic, something like that. I can't really remember, but it sounded cool from what I remember.
Okay.
And then there's the droid story.
Yep.
Don't care about that one.
I think that's it.
What's it
for
called?
Star Wars.
No, there's one more. There's Willow. There's that show with Warwick Davis as the Ewok.
Well, no, that's Willow isn't the Star Wars.
Yeah, it's just
Willow
it's
just a Warwick Davis movie where he plays but it is like it was put in with those.
Oh, did I get confused?
It was just put in because it's from Lucasfilm and Lucasfilm Star Wars. So,
yeah, the film Willow.
It's not
the original one.
Willow is separate from Star Wars.
Yes, the original one Willow was like a 90s, 80s, 90s movie.
Okay.
I've never seen it, but I guess they're doing another one. And then also, if we're talking about Lucasfilm stuff, Indiana Jones 5.
Oh yeah.
With Harrison Ford returning, which will be interesting. I'm guessing. I have no idea what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah. Who knows? I am excited because it's from James Mangold, who I love.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm really. I don't know. I'm so excited that we're getting another Indiana Jones movie. It's been 12 years. But then again, it's been 12 years. And Harrison Ford is like almost 80.
Right.
And I don't know if we'll see him running around in the fedora with the whip at age 80.
Who knows?
I don't know how that would turn out. So what I'm thinking is they're going to
get work in a museum.
They're gonna get a new guy.
Like they tried to do with Mutt Williams.
Indiana's gonna play like a second lead or like a more important supporting role. Like an important supporting role or he could play the lead, and the real guy who's doing the action stuff will be the supporting role, and then he'll be built up after that. So I could see,
Who knows?
maybe, maybe Indiana Jones is retiring from the college that he worked at. I forgot the one.
I don't know.
He's retiring. It's like his last year, and there's a new professor coming in to take his spot, and maybe they go on an adventure together, and he passes the torch off to this guy. Passes the whip.
Yep.
Or hands the whip off. That could be a potential plot line. Or Mutt Williams, which I don't know if they do.
Nah.
Get Shia back. Let's get Shia back.
Shia was let's get Shia back to play a role that he had 12 years ago, and probably doesn't care to play anymore. I think he was charged with something recently.
Yeah, there's
like
an
sexual
allegation
assault
against him. Something
yeah.
like that.
So I don't think Disney's gonna want him back.
Yeah.
Dude, that makes me so sad. He just came off of Honey Boy. Like, I thought he was really turning a leaf. Like,
Yeah, he was great.
Well,
Peanut
I'm
Butter
not
Falcon,
sure if
too.
they're necessarily true or not, but I mean,
He's in some hot water right now.
Yeah, he's in hot water. We'll say that, but there's no confirmations or anything like that. There's just allegation and a lawsuit, I think, right now. So
yeah.
But he is actually dating. Shia LaBeouf's actually been seen dating the girl from actually Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What's her name?
Margot Robbie.
Margaret Qualley.
Yeah, I think it's Qualley, I believe.
Margaret Qualley.
It's the girl that had the acid cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was a random person.
Yeah.
But like her friend.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was what's her name? I forget.
The one with
Pussycat
the
or something?
feet? The one with the bare feet?
It was Qualley.
Was it the bear? Was it the girl who had who had no shoes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then what do we have for Marvel stuff? We have a lot of the same stuff. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I personally
Marvel, I'm pretty excited about.
I don't really care about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, that's probably, like, it'll probably be okay or like decent. I'm just like, there's nothing really there so far that I'm really looking forward to. I'm really intrigued by WandaVision though. That looks really cool. They're doing some thriller,
excited for that.
some thriller aspects to Marvel heroes, which I'm really excited for. They seem to be trying something different.
Yeah.
And if it's going by the episode by episode basis, we'll have kind of like a Stranger Things story where we're not completely learning everything until the very end.
Yeah, I like week by week episodes.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that as well. For some things. And then we have What If? That's their other thing. And then we have the Spider-Man. Did that get announced there? I don't fucking know.
There's so much.
Honestly, I only looked at the Star Wars stuff. I haven't looked at any of the
Marvel.
Okay, so Marvel, we got a lot more. We got a Fantastic Four announcement, which really excited.
Oh yeah. Was that
Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, which is actually we have King the Conqueror in that one.
The Fantastic Four that's directed by the
from
guy
John Watts.
He did Homecoming, right?
Correct. Yeah. I don't
correct,
really.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm. I mean, he's fine, but I want kind of someone different. But
I'm just ready to see a good adaptation of Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
Fantastic Four has been one of my favorite teams.
He doesn't have that much on his shoulders. He just has to make one better than the three that exist, which I don't think would be that.
Which is not
hard. To
do. It's not hard, especially with Marvel's like their track on good movies. Like, sure, there's been some little worse MCU movies, but if you're looking at Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, like Iron Man 3 and 2 is like leagues above like that.
Yeah. You know? Like Marvel's kind of worse stuff is better than anything Fantastic Four.
Exactly.
few movies.
And we're not even gonna mention the Miles Teller Fantastic Four. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Fan four stick.
Fan Four stick.
Yeah, that makes me sad because Miles Teller is it Miles Teller or is it the other guy who's
It
in
was
Ready
Miles
Player
Teller.
One?
It
Those
was
guys
Miles
look
Teller.
so similar. I forget
Guy from Ready Player One's name like
Ty Sheridan,
Ty Sheridan. Yeah,
but
Yeah,
they
they
look
look
identical
similar.
to each other,
they do look similar.
which is weird. I always thought they were like related, but that's weird because Miles Teller he's a really good actor.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a
it's
bad
just
film.
writing.
Yeah.
I
Josh
mean,
Trank.
some of my notable things I'm actually excited for on the Marvel side of things. Definitely after seeing Captain America has always been my favorite Avenger, and after seeing all the 3 trailers for the upcoming TV shows that were already announced, WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. While Falcon and the Winter Soldier actually kind of looks the worst to me.
Yeah.
It just looks like a little bland. Like, honestly, Wanda's bringing in kind of a new concept we've never really seen in the MCU before. It definitely doesn't feel like a strictly action based movie. And I
Yeah.
think or like TV show, but
Mhm.
I think it's gonna have a lot more around it and gonna have a good mystery to it. And I think kind of the adventures with Loki, and I've kind of looked up on that. Based off the trailer, it looks amazing too. Some other notable things, just off like comics and things like that. Obviously, Fantastic Four, but I'm actually really looking forward to Moon Knight, which is almost like some people compare him as like a Marvel version of Batman in a sense.
Yeah, like he's very dark.
Yeah.
He's
And
done
then the
some
Hawkeye show.
crazy stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Um,
that's my notable takeaways that I'm looking forward to, I guess you could say. But
Doctor Strange 2 casts more people.
Oh, that's got Sam Raimi as director. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that.
It's gonna be freaky.
yeah.
I love that guy.
Spider-Man 3 is connecting to Doctor Strange 2. And we
Right.
also got what's his name? What's his name? The guy who plays
what?
Doc Ock in the original.
Oh, Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do you remember that?
I love Alfred Molina. I've seen.
He was in
Spider-Man like a
he
million
was in
times.
Indiana Jones. He dies.
Yeah, he's in Raiders
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
what
he's
else
so
is he
good
in?
in Spider-Man. Not much that I've
Yeah.
seen. He had a cameo in Vice a few years ago.
Yeah.
But
That was a good
that's
scene.
a huge. I mean,
Yeah, what is
already
even
with
happening with
Yeah.
Spider-Man?
Well,
3?
I mean,
Like,
I think
what is going
point,
on?
I think at this point, any person can logically infer that we're getting the other 2 Spider-Men.
We're getting the multiverse.
We're getting
getting
the
a
Andrew
multiverse
Garfield and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man.
I don't even know what to think of.
Because why
what's
else would
going
they
on with
get
Spider-Man 3.
the Doc Ock and then the
And
Jamie
Electro.
Foxx Electro?
and Electro,
Like,
God.
why would they
And
just be
Emma
there to fight
Watson.
Spider-Man?
Kirsten Dunst.
Are they signed on?
No,
They're-
they did
they're-
not sign on.
Yeah, one of them did.
Nuh-uh.
I swear to you.
I did not see that. You might
I
be
didn't
right.
see
It
that
was
either.
announced. It was announced on comic book.
Interesting.
Black Widow.
And that it was. I'm pretty sure it was Kirsten Dunst, and then Emma Watson was.
You mean
rumored.
Emma Stone?
Or Emma Stone? Yeah, sorry, not Emma Watson. No, yeah.
Black Widow
But,
got pushed back even farther. And now it's showing in theaters and not Disney Plus in May.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who knows?
It's just so weird. That movie has been done for the longest time.
Yeah.
It's honestly gonna make
It's
me.
ready.
It's
ready.
honestly sad because it's gonna bomb. I feel like
Well, yeah, depending
in
on
theaters.
what happens with
if
the
they're just
vaccine.
shelling it off the theaters. I mean, it depends on COVID. To be
Yeah.
honest, Loki trailer. All I can really remember with that is that he jumps out of the plane at the end, kind of similar to DB Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Marvel. The What If. Hawkeye. Mark Ruffalo and Tim Roth return for She-Hulk.
Interesting.
Secret Invasion show with Samuel Jackson.
Nick Fury.
Yeah.
The Skrulls, probably.
Ironheart. Yeah.
There's so much stuff, man. It's
Armor
kind of
Wars
overwhelming.
with Don Cheadle as War Machine.
God, there's so much stuff.
The Guardians
there's
of the
just so much
Galaxy
stuff they
holiday
announced.
special.
We got the I Am Groot TV show.
I literally just went to that. I Am Groot, a series of shorts about baby Groot, was announced for Disney Plus. Then you get Guardians
It's
of the
so
Galaxy
much.
3, which will release in 2023. We'll all be in college. Christian
Wow.
Bale is playing Gore the God, Butcher in Thor Love and Thunder. He's not even
You see,
he's not even a physical actor, he's just voicing
yeah,
someone.
I don't know how I feel about that, about Christian Bale voice acting. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Wait, is it
but
going to be like a CGI thing or
yeah,
something?
he's gonna be a
He's gonna be like a
he might be
CGI
like
monster.
a CGI like stand-in, but
Black Panther 2 won't recast Chadwick, so they'll probably do like Shuri stuff or like I don't know.
yeah.
Explore Wakanda. And
I honestly I don't know how they're gonna go with that.
No,
Like, how are they gonna?
they made an announcement, and they didn't really say Shuri or anything like that, but they said that they're not going to recast, and they're going to explore the world of Wakanda, or not the world, but kind of the just Wakanda in general, and the characters that were introduced in Wakanda, and things like that. But they're still calling it Black Panther too, which I
Yeah.
think is interesting.
We haven't gotten a Marvel movie since Far From Home.
That's crazy. It's been over a year.
You know, one thing I really want to see is Shang-Chi. I actually really want to see that movie.
Yeah.
The description of that movie looks really interesting. And I think they're building up kind of a new Avengers kind of team with all these solo movies. Like
Yeah.
I think in the near future we'll most likely have another Avengers movie of kind of this new age.
Mm-hmm.
And I just am looking forward to seeing all these new characters that are being introduced. Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi.
I'm
So
just
much.
not
Eternals.
sure how they're gonna do
Especially
the Black
Eternals,
Panther.
Especially.
Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to explain that he doesn't exist anymore? Like he was there after Endgame.
Right.
That's why I'm thinking like they should have probably just ended the whole Avengers series after Endgame. Personally. And just
But if you think about it,
kept
how,
it with
how
solo
long
stuff.
is the MCU gonna go on?
Yeah,
if they
I know.
keep making all these Avengers movies
Exactly.
and things like that, you gotta reach a stopping point because
I feel like
no
Endgame
franchise
was
has ever done this before. Like,
Endgame
no
was
franchise
the
has
high
done
point.
all of this.
I think Endgame is the high
Definitely.
point for Avengers stuff. Like that's the climactic finish.
Yeah, that
know?
was. Now we're on a new chapter.
But
Yeah.
how long will that go for? Like I feel
Who
like
knows?
if it ends with them, that won't feel as important. You know?
Yeah, well, that's why Marvel's so brilliant, though. They've crafted 10 years of amazing stories and characters that you care about.
But
Yeah,
so
I know. But
actors
do you,
are
gonna
do you,
do it
do
again.
you think
older and things
do you
like
think people
that,
will care
like
enough about
Thor
Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel like as they
I
did
don't
with
know.
Iron Man and Black Widow?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, people aren't done seeing Marvel movies.
Well, yeah,
People
exactly.
see Marvel movies forever.
That's why I'm saying solo stuff.
You mean rather
What
than
el-
building another universe of
Yeah. Just keep
Well-
doing like you can have like not like Avengers movies. That's what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah,
you can keep things like loosely connected with each other, you know.
Yeah,
but like
I'm sure they will.
I don't know. It's just
I
confusing.
just hope
and
they'll
it gives
make
me a
kind
headache.
I hope they'll. Now that they're announcing all these TV shows and movies, I honestly hope that they make a kind of new age of Avengers. But however they finished off, kind of Endgame type or multiverse type or however they introduce it, that it has to end wherever like this new age kind of like starts. If anything, they should not announce any new characters after all these characters are introduced.
Mhm.
They should
Yeah,
make
this is-
sequels or New Age Avengers movie. I don't know, something like that. But that's just my opinion.
They've got. I mean, they've announced so much stuff. Who knows what entertainment in Disney's going to be like in 10 years?
Exactly. And then we have the other stuff. We have the Lightyear movie.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Who's excited for the Lightyear movie?
I mean, it's pretty interesting.
I mean,
I'll see it.
I
mean,
heard
I'll
it's
see
is
all
it
this.
live action?
No.
No.
It's
It's
about.
basically just.
Someone
it's
said
about
that it was
basically-
live action.
It's about Buzz Lightyear if he wasn't like a toy. It's like basically like the actual story of Buzz Lightyear that like Andy sees, that Andy thinks Buzz Lightyear is.
So,
Kind of.
like,
No. It's about the real man
who
they
inspires
base
the toy?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I
Oh,
thought it was.
really?
It's about the astronaut that
'Cause
they
then-
base the toy off of.
Because if they did the one that Andy sees, then they'd just be doing the cartoon from like the early 2000s. Did you guys ever
Right.
watch
That's
that?
what I thought. That's what I assumed it was, because that's what I saw the description as. But that is totally not what I thought. But
But
Yeah,
now we have,
no, it's about
that's
the
interesting.
actual human being.
but
Buzz
now we have
Lightyear.
Chris Evans.
And Chris
see,
Evans
I'm not
voice.
really sure how I feel about that now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
kind of interesting.
It could be interesting. I'm not entirely sure. And then Emma Stone is playing Cruella de Vil. I
Oh,
don't
I
really
knew
care.
that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
They
I guess it
announced
got reconfirmed here.
Right.
The Little Mermaid live action remake with music from Lin-Manuel Miranda. Again, I don't like supporting these live action ones just because I don't.
Yeah.
It's scummy movie making. Like it's putting
it's for a
people in
profit.
jobs, sure, but it's not for heart. It's just for money. Like there's no
Yeah.
real like love put behind it. It's just to make money
Right.
off of your old. It's like making money off of like a dead corpse.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're making like a spin-off or like a prequel of the Lion King live action directed by what's his name? The guy who did Moonlight.
Barry Jenkins.
Yeah, Barry Jenkins. Yeah. I'm like, why would you sign on to do that? Like I thought you
Come
were
on,
like
Barry.
Barry, I thought you were like a director with integrity.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Yeah.
and now he's doing a Lion King prequel.
That's a
Live
shame.
action Lion
Ugh,
King.
gosh, come up with the
Uh,
original stories. Gosh.
Popular duo Chip and Dale are getting a hybrid live action and animated film based off of the animated series Rescue Rangers.
Doesn't it have like John Mulaney and like?
Oh, it
who's the other guy?
does.
Nick
Yeah, it has
Kroll?
John Mulaney and Nick Kroll.
No,
Yeah.
and Andy Samberg.
No. It's Andy Samberg, I think, right?
Oh, really?
Why? Now I
think
have
that-
to watch it.
Wait. Correct me. Wait, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Andy
That's right.
Samberg?
That's right.
Okay.
Now I have to watch it. Now I have to watch John Mulaney portray a talking squirrel.
Yeah.
But so
Oh
it's
my
going to be
God.
based on. It's going to be based on the TV show from like the 90s. But it's hybrid live action. I would pay money to see
Roger
a
Rabbit?
movie of John Mulaney in a squirrel suit running around. I'd pay money for that, but he's just going to be voicing. Honestly, I don't know. That could be, I don't know. At least they're taking something more obscure. That's
Right.
going to be my excuse to go see it.
Disney's just going overboard, though.
Pinocchio live action with Tom Hanks.
Isn't that Zemeckis doing it?
I think so.
He hasn't made a good movie.
Yeah, Robert Zemeckis
12
has
years.
signed on. Yeah, I know. Didn't he make the Mars Needs Moms?
Did he?
I think so.
His last good movie was Flight.
Flight was like what, 13 years ago?
Yeah, no, it was like 2010.
Really?
Yeah.
Who directed Mars Needs Moms? No, it was Simon Wells. But I feel like he had something to do with it. Hold on.
He does a lot with that technology stuff, like Welcome to Marwin and Beowulf.
Robert
and
Zemeckis, Mars Needs Moms. Let's see. Did he do anything here?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? He did that.
Yes, he produced it. Sorry.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was attached to it somehow. Let me see. What was Flight? I thought it was like 2007.
I thought it was like, you might be right. I thought it was like 2011.
Oh no, it was 2012.
Yeah,
Jesus. Okay. He directed that? I didn't even know.
he did.
But
But then he made Welcome to Marwin and that new movie with Anne Hathaway that was supposed to be awful.
I was really wait, which one? Oh, the new
The Witches.
the
movie.
Witches. Yeah.
Witches.
I was really excited for Welcome to Marwin. I thought it was gonna be good.
Yeah, it was just got terrible reviews.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so Pinocchio live action with Tom Hanks. Okay, just why? I don't
Money,
get
bro.
it.
Money.
I know. Paddington director Paul King was originally supposed to do it, but he left. He left the project. Which actually, that would have been good. Because have you guys ever seen those movies? The live action Paddington?
Those are good movies.
They're really good. They're like very solid children's movies.
Yeah, totally.
Like they're very heartwarming and they have a good message and a good story. Like that would have been a good choice for a Pinocchio. But nope. We're getting Robert Zemeckis.
Hopefully he bounces back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
Tom Hanks plays Geppetto.
Who's playing Pinocchio?
I have no clue. They'll probably be like, I don't know. They'll probably get like, I don't know. Oscar Isaac.
Hate. I just hate how they're doing all these live action remakes. It just ruins the original stories for me.
Peter Pan and Wendy will be a remake of Disney's 1953 animated film Peter Pan.
Isn't Tom Holland playing Peter Pan?
I have no clue. Jude Law will play Captain Hook.
Huh.
Yara Shahidi will play Tinkerbell. Interesting.
But Eamon, we should have got your mom on the Discord and have her talk about what her honest thoughts are based off the live action remake of The Lion King.
Oh, she hates it. I can speak for her on that. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And then
Better than Beyonce.
And then a live action version of Lilo and Stitch. And a live action version of Hunchback of Notre Dame.
We need that one.
What?
That's a need. I need that live action Lilo and Stitch.
Exactly.
Definitely not going to look like the original Sonic design where it's going to look horrible.
No, I know exactly what Stitch is going to look like. Stitch is going to have he's going to have the Baby Yoda look, but he's going to have like realistic blue hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can picture exactly how he's going to look in my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Now they're doing a Hunchback of Notre Dame live action. A sequel to the live action Aladdin.
Gosh.
Robin Hood is getting remade for Disney Plus. Sword in the Stone is getting remade. Hercules is getting a theatrical release.
All right, you're reading The Onion now.
No, I swear. Bambi is getting remade. Disney is also working on a live-action version of its first anime classic, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
All right, overall, this is just ridiculous.
Jungle Book sequel. One of the Prince Charmings from Cinderella or Snow White will get his own movie, too. It's reported that the Genie will get his own live-action prequel titled Genies.
All right, this is just getting out of hand.
Another film was previously reported to be in the works about Snow White's sister, Rose Red, who is featured in Grimm's Fairy Tales.
What?
Disney is reportedly in talks to remake Roald Dahl's James and the Giant Peach, which was adapted as a stop-motion film in 1996. I remember that movie. Peter Pan's fairy companion Tinkerbell is reportedly getting her own live-action film, too.
Nice. Can't wait for that.
Disney also greenlit a movie for one of its darkest characters, Chernabog, a demon from Fantasia, back in 2015.
Ooh, my favorite.
And I guess there's still updates. And that's it. That's it,
I
guys.
think
There's not that much. There's not that much. We're not oversaturated with live-action content. What are you guys talking about? Come on, get out of here. But out of all of those, was there a new animated movie? No, there was not.
Wow.
That's weird.
Hey, we see the direction they're taking.
Yep.
They're entering a new age.
We see the creativity that, just in fact, like the creativity that Disney is just swarmed with.
For the most part, Disney has just completely squandered Walt's like whole concept and idea. And, like, his whole motto of, like, creativity. They're like, yeah, fuck you, old man. We're making money now.
We want money.
Every time they announce a new live-action remake, Walt, like, turns over in his grave. He spins. He's probably made like a whole race car track at this point. He's just driving around.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, honestly, it's insane. I just like the Star Wars stuff and Marvel stuff because I like that stuff, and I will just I will watch it because I'm a little fan.
We all enjoy it.
Yeah,
and when
it's
new
like
stuff comes out, we'll talk about it.
I hate Disney, but I'm still going to watch The Mandalorian season 3.
Exactly.
Fuck Disney. I'm still going to go to Disneyland this summer. Okay. I hate Disney, okay? But I'm going to go watch WandaVision when it comes out in January.
and we'll review it.
We'll review it. Exactly.
When it comes out.
Yeah, we'll review it when it's done.
That's a must need review because it actually comes out in January. So that's something that we can
that can be something we cover when it's finished.
Right. Exactly.
But until then, guys, look forward to another episode this week. Preferably, it should be up on Christmas Eve for you guys to enjoy, and it'll just be counting down holiday picks and our favorites from this past year. But thank you for sitting and talking and listening with us. This has been the Average Cast. Again, my name is Eamon. I was joined by Gavin and Jake this evening. So yeah, thank you guys all for watching.
Thanks, guys.
If you're watching or listening at home.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.